What's going on, people? So, what is this? Got some stuff here to talk about. A lot of Asics, all Asics things, actually, right? So, it's three videos? Yeah, three of these things to knock out, but, five if you count what I did before this. Either way, long story short, I'm going to try to breeze through this because I've been talking for a while already. See that? Yeah, there's the side of the box, right? And also, you'll probably notice the next box over here, very similar, right? So I'll probably show you that one too. Maybe all in one shot. I don't know. We'll see how it works out later on. But either way, they're both very much the same. One has an L for large, one has an M for medium. If you saw the initial unboxing of this, or you have a little bit of common sense, you can probably guess why there's two, right? But that'll come up again in the sizing and whatnot. So stay tuned for that answer. It may surprise you. It won't. It's very underwhelming. I just bought a size that didn't fit very good. Either way, so here's the thing, right? I'm going to start off, I guess I'll just hold this one. It doesn't matter. I just need something to hold while I talk about things and give you some pictures. Gonna knock out a review of some sort on this right here. This is the Asics Actibreeze Hybrid Sandal in green, marble, and black. So you may have also noticed on the side of the box it says stability, right? I have only seen this version of it. I didn't see another thing out there. I mean, maybe I didn't look close enough or whatever. So if you're wondering, is there like another thing that I know of? Not really. And really, this is just the Actibreeze 3D round 2, right? So pull these up because I'm gonna need these in a bit too. Remember these? Yeah. Either way, so let's go ahead and move on into some things. Down there, across the bottom, what you're looking at is kind of like your typical plain outsole that you see on a lot of like lower end like Asics shoes or whatever. I'm just saying there's nothing fancy about it, right? It's decent, right? I like the orange, so there's that. Moving on up past that though, midsole side and all that, not a whole lot happening there. It's kind of just the same orange that you saw, but you do start to get more of the colors that happen in the upper piece, right? Kind of reminds me like Gatorade or something like that for some reason. I don't know. Does that make sense to anybody else? I don't know. What does it remind you of, this whole mix of colors? Either way, another picture too so you can kind of see these, right? Because there's not really like a whole lot going on at first, but then you might look at it like, well, what's going on with that middle piece, right? Because that seems a little awkward, right? I mean, that was my take on it. Once I really started looking at it, I was like, this is strange. But we're going to talk about some things and just kind of go on through this whole situation, right? So, first off, just giving you some closer pictures, whatever. Down here in like this region, you can kind of see like you do have this here black piece, and it's got like a nice lip around it to kind of hold it in place. And a lot of the colors. Moving on to like this upper piece over your foot, feels pretty nice. Feels like your standard material and whatever. Not far off of like an Actibreeze slide or whatever. Like if you remember these, the Adlet 22, excuse me. So just has like a slightly different feel because that has more ridges on it, but that's just like a design situation. Either way, same sort of plasticky sort of mold what they have going on here, right? And then going on to the back, you're just gonna see more of that and everything like that, right? So the biggest thing being, and I can't remember because I didn't really pay attention when I read it because I honestly just didn't care, but this little shell here, it comes off, well, this comes off, this kind of just stays here, right? So I'm guessing that like you can they were probably making it so you could buy different, what would be like an insole, if you will, right? For this here piece, like the actual 3D printed piece. Maybe put that on here because then the shell is going to be the same. Maybe they could just have like some that are more for cushion, kind of like how the Kayano is built for stability, whereas the Nimbus is more built for cushion. So maybe that's what they're going for here. I honestly don't really know. But there's that, and on the side you do have like these spots here where it just kind of locks into place, right? So that's kind of what helps keep it all together. And it's going to be the same sort of deal as you saw if you happen to see ever like the original Actibreeze 3D. Just obviously one is going to be all of the material, right? So this is like the whole slide in itself. This way, it's probably easier, probably cheaper to just be able to make this and then just say, okay, well, you already got this, just kind of, here's that, right? I don't know what their idea was. Again, I think they detailed it on the website, but I wasn't really trying to pay attention to all that. Not all of these videos I do are super informative or whatever. Sometimes it's really just me talking about stuff and giving you my overall opinion with a bunch of pictures and stuff, right? It's kind of where we are today. So that's going to be that. Now here's the thing, right? Otherwise, looking at these things, like this one right here, you're gonna see it's pretty much all the same thing that you had on here. It's just gonna be like all inclusive, right? I don't know that these are still out there to be bought. I'm honestly not sure. I've seen them come in and out of stock, so I don't know if that's because they're still making them or if they were just like restocks on occasion for like unsold pairs from different stores that just got sent back to Asics. I'm not really sure, but I'll get into it in the sizing and stuff and the comfort or whatever. But just know it is a different experience. So it's not just like, oh, well, this is the same thing as these, just more colorful. No, not exactly. But either way, so I think I've covered everything as far as like the presentation and the looks go or whatever. So I'm just gonna jump into like the personal thoughts piece, and then we'll knock out the sizing, which is gonna be involved. Personally, I think these are fine, right? They look kind of cool, right? I like the idea of being able to take out like the inside and possibly switch it out with like something that is more your liking or whatever, or just in case it just happens to kind of break down over time, because anything that you wear long enough kind of just breaks in over time, right? So that's kind of a cool idea. But the color selection, while I do like these, the color selection wasn't that great in my opinion. There was like a plain, like a light greenish sort of color, but I already have something like that for I think some Yeezy slides or maybe these Adelaide 22s or maybe both, honestly. I don't even know. But I was looking at the site like, okay, well, I don't know about all that. But as far as what I'm getting in hand and just looking at these for myself and just kind of taking just how do I feel about just this model in general, yeah, I actually think it's pretty cool, right? It's a decent idea. I like slides, you know, and even past like switching out for anything else, just because the way they are, they're also going to be easy to clean. So if you're like taking these out to the beach or something like that, I feel like it'll be super easy to get all that extra sand out of there. Or if they just get kind of dirty, I feel like they can be washed easily, because there's like the older version had like, since it was like thicker, it just seems like it'd be a little more hassle to really get in there. But either way, I think that Asics is doing like a cool thing here, even if I don't expect this to like take the world by storm, and I don't think this is going to make anybody like turn away from whatever their current favorite slide is. I mean, it's not making me turn away from what my current favorite slide is, the Adelaide 22, right? It's just pretty nice. So it's just a nice option. And since I wear a lot of Asics things, because Asics is my favorite running shoe, so, or favorite running brand, I wear a lot of their stuff because I run often. So it's good to have like some slides that I can wear around the apartment. That's kind of where we are right now. The only real reason I wanted these was just for variety, and I was curious how these would stack up against the older version, right? And now I know. And I'm about to share that with you because we are at the sizing portion and all the comfort and whatever. So this is the main part of the video. You probably just skipped here, and I totally get it. If I was in your situation, I'd probably do the same thing. So that's why I put the timestamps in there, because I'm with you people. I am. All right, sizing. Let's do that. I bought these in a way true to size. At least that's what I did at first. The sizing chart, right? I'm a 9.5. 9.5 is at the bottom of the large chart. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just do that. And then I got them in hand, put them on. I was like, oh, right, I forgot these things did not go so great when I bought the original pair. Should have thought about that. But buy enough stuff, you start to forget things or whatever. So either way, bought a new pair that like had my size at the top, which sometimes means, okay, if your size is at the top, you may not have a whole lot of room. If your size is at the bottom, you may have too much, right? It's kind of a price you pay. Just take that gamble and do whatever. They have a good return policy, so I wasn't thinking too much about it. Bought the medium. Medium fit perfectly fine, right? So I would say if you're at the top or the bottom of one of those charts, maybe consider that before you go doubling down on and buying whatever. But again, return policies are good. Walking around in these though, right? That's the situation that means most to people. And if you liked the Actibreeze 3D slide the first time, you may not like these, honestly, because the first one's super cushiony, right? These, they said stability, and boy, they are built for stability. It is solid, right? It's not like stiff or anything like that, but by comparison, definitely a stability thing, right? One of my people in the running group said the same thing, but now seeing it for myself, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a serious difference, right? The older ones being super bouncy, these more like my Adelaide 22s, which I prefer personally, right? So I'm not saying this from a place of it being a problem. I'm into it. You may not be into it if you were into the first version. That's the point that I'm trying to make there. But otherwise, I think it's not going to be like a big deal breaker for a lot of people. I think you're just going to have a preference one way or the other, but you'll probably still be overall fine with these if you do end up with a pair. So don't think too much about it, but do know that you won't get the same experience, because version 1 and version 2, a little bit different, right? So there's going to be that. And like I was saying about the whole return policy and whatever, yes, you see both of these here. I'm very well within the return policy for this pair here, but I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to do the same thing I usually do when stuff like this happens. And my dad will be getting a new pair of shoes because he's like a half size bigger than me, right? So this will work out for him more so than it would work out for me. So that's going to be what happens there, right? Just kind of pay it forward. And then I usually use like their opinion, like my parents, like as far as when I'm like talking about stuff later, because it's good to have more than just my insight on something. So there's a little look into how my life works. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. I'm going to be moving on to these things right here, talking about those. You want the details? Watch the video. Later, people.